One of my favorite tropes ever is the in-universe soundtrack, which is where most or all of the songs in the movie are played from inside the movie, like on a radio or on an iPod or what have you. It doesn't necessarily mean that all of the music in the movie is played by a live band on stage somewhere in the movie, though there can usually be background music, but I think it's just a fantastic excuse to get some licensed music into your film. One movie that did this, I think, really, really well was The Martian, which also happens to be one of my all-time favorite movies. Matt Damon is stranded on Mars, and all he could listen to is disco music, because that's all they brought with them to Mars. And as a result, the licensed music in this movie is pretty much dominated by all of this disco stuff.
I'm definitely gonna die up here if I have to listen to any more god-awful disco music.
Another movie that does this really, really well is Baby Driver, wherein our main character listens to songs on an iPod almost constantly to help stave off the tinnitus. The film then uses this and blends it into the action scenes, and it's just utterly fantastic. And of course, the biggest example of this trope is obviously Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy kind of actually set the trend. Chris Pratt, in both volumes 1 and 2, has a Walkman with a cassette tape called Awesome Mix, and in the second movie he gets Awesome Mix Volume 2. Both movies use this a whole lot. It's a major part of Chris Pratt's character, and they actually use it for a lot of the marketing. So of all of the movies to actually use this idea, I feel that Guardians of the Galaxy was really the first series of movies to just embrace it. Now, unfortunately, all of the movies that do this number in the single digits. Like, you can count the number of movies that actually do this on 2 hands. Which is a really big shame, because I feel like it's a really great idea to get some licensed music into your movie and still have a legitimate excuse as to why you're actually playing this music, you know, as opposed to when Norm of the North just started playing Walk the Moon for some reason. Zootopia actually went one step further with this idea, where they actually hired someone to come in and record actual music for the movie to be sung, like, on an iPod, over the radio, and in the big concert scene at the very end of the film. I actually love this trope so much that we actually came up with our own, with one specific character who we were going to use for the Starbound series that we never actually got to making. Kasumi was a character who kind of looks like Futaba from Persona 5, except she has red hair, and the idea behind her is that she would use a katana, and if she was listening to extremely crazy nightcore music, she would be literally unstoppable, like dodging bullets and everything. Think of that one meme where the guy's like, "Oh, finally a good song! The imaginary fight scene in my head will be legendary!" It's exactly like that. The only problem was, my taste in music ranges between orchestral and beautiful or bombastic and crazy. There is no in between. Which means we would be getting scenes of her killing countless people with a katana while listening to something like this. I, for one, still think it would be a pretty cool idea!